Check my message. Hi. Um, Tonight's a little bit different than normal. Um, I just had kind of an overwhelming sense tonight that I wanted to kind of chat a bit rather than just do my full stretching meditation routine. I am still going to do that for those of you who are following. I encourage you to do that. I'm definitely not giving that up. That is a daily thing for me, and if anything, it's I'm kind of getting the sense that I want to expand that. That's growing every day. Um, what I really wanted to talk about tonight and just kind of lay it out there is I've been thinking a lot about energy lately, and specifically kind of positive versus negative energy, and I think that a lot of us, myself especially. So a lot of this is talking about the way that I kind of see things in my own progression and development as a person, and just kind of a little bit of self exploration and I think that it probably will resonate with somebody out there. Um, but I've been thinking a lot about energy and and how we tend to think about positivity as being forced almost, stay positive or be positive. But I think that, um, you know, positive energy is that that overwhelming sense of just being content and present and, you know, being able to listen to those around us and to what's happening around us, um, understanding when we're listening, I think is important. And, kind of really trying to cultivate a sense of peacefulness and calmness and just contentness with, you know, um, your situation, contentness with, whatever is happening in your life. Because I think it's really easy sometimes to forget that what is happening to us in the moment, in that present moment. Sorry, I'm kind of shaking the table. Um, what's always happening to us in that moment is it's not a forever thing. It's fleeting, and those moments of of pain and suffering. Um, you know, I think the benefit to those moments are that it really makes you, or it allows you. It doesn't make you. It allows you to um, to really focus in on or have a better understanding of um, those positive aspects of your life and of your experience. Everybody has pain in their life in one form or another, and being able to experience that and use it to kind of cultivate um, a greater feeling of empathy and caring and understanding for others, I think is really important. Um, those negative emotions and negative energy that we carry around with us, hate and anger, rage, and you know, even things like revenge or jealousy. Those things. Um, I again, I don't want to say that they don't have a place because I don't. I'm not speaking for everyone. I don't know you, but I do know myself, and as I kind of go down this path, um, um, I don't have any desire to feel anger or um, you know bitterness or jealousy about things that have happened in the past, or things that have happened to me, or um, you know, things that people have done, that you don't enjoy, you don't like, or that you perceive as being, you know, kind of a slight towards you. It's really difficult to get past those things. Um, but I think that, a lot of the reason why it's difficult to get rid of those feelings or emotions is our own personal egos. Um, and what I mean by ego is not necessarily, thinking you're the best, or that type of definition, but that ego, that the thing that you perceive as being you, right? That thing that allows you um, to kind of create an environment in your head where you're right. The way that you see it is right. The way that you perceive things around you is right and correct. The way that you are um, acting and behaving is the correct way to do it. And I struggle with that a lot because um, I've had a lot of experiences in my life. I've done a lot of things, but there are infinitely more things that I have not done, and not experienced. And you know the the ability um, to understand how little you really know. And it really doesn't matter, your age or your experience level, or what you've done in your life. There's always somebody who's done more. There's always someone who's done something different, um, and those experiences really create, um, the person who we think we are. But in order to kind of move past those feelings of negative energy, those hate feelings, those feelings of anger or jealousy, um, I think it takes a bit of an understanding that, you know, like we were talking about yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, you need to be able to, um, I don't know, to um, relax and be present in a way that facilitates your ability to understand that, um, whatever emotion you are feeling, it is within your control. It's within your ability to mitigate that, to feel it, but not use it, um, to not let it control you, to not let it guide your actions, your thoughts. Um, just because someone cuts you off in traffic, you know, let's use that as an example. If you're able to, in that moment, right, when someone does something to you that you perceive as being rude or ungrateful, or um, just a negative thing, it brings up a negative feeling and a negative emotion. The faster you can, you know feel it, understand it, that it is making you feel a certain way, but then let go of that thing. Just your ability to just get past it, move on, not worry about it, and still treat that person or that thing with the kind of love and empathy and caring, um, and just calmness, right? Um, that that you want. That's what I want to cultivate, and I think that's who I really am. And I've been there before, only once in my life, but um, having that experience really, it changes you, because in that moment, then when someone cuts you off in traffic, and instead of you know slamming on the gas and going beside them, flipping them off, and then yelling at them in your own car, and expressing that anger and trying to release it that way, um, that what does that do? What does that ultimately do for you? What what it ends up happening is you feel those emotions, that anger, that rage. That other person, very unlikely that they feel the same way. And even if they do, what is that accomplishing? What are you gaining by, you know, by escalating that, right? By pushing that situation to another new place. If instead someone does something to you and you just let it go and you're content and you're happy, and you understand that you don't know what that person is doing or what they're rushing to, right? Like maybe they cut you off by accident, they didn't realize because they're on their way to um, handle an emergency, or and the other way to look at things is, you know my wife asked me the other day, if I believed in fate, and that's a tricky question because there are some things that I do believe are sort of meant to be. I think that each one of us is meant to have certain experiences and um, certain situations presented to us in your lifetime, in order to learn from those things, in order to um, go through that, and gain some type of knowledge or wisdom, um, because of that experience. And although I do believe that, I do believe that you are sort of destined to do certain things or to have certain experiences. I don't. Fate is a tricky word because I really believe that. Um, I think again we talked about this before, or I talked about this a little bit before. Is control is um, or the illusion of control in your life is um, is something really difficult to grasp, because the only real control, um, the only real thing that you can determine in your life are the present moment decisions that you make. Whether you eat that chocolate bar, whether you go outside, whether you know call your friend or not call your friend, or have another helping, or whatever those decisions are. Those are the things that accumulate to create that fate, right? Those are the things that accumulate while you are living your day-to-day life, uh, being present, but often thinking about the past or the future, and never really realizing the decisions that you're making, um, more just kind of coasting on autopilot, and doing things out of in kind of a habitual nature, or habitual, um, a way, just sort of doing the things that you always do because it's comfortable, because that allows, again, your ego to sort of settle into a really comfortable space where you've sort of built this niche for yourself, where you you know what to expect, right? And again, it comes back to those expectations of the future. And you know I think expectations are really kind of a poison, in being true to yourself and true to the experiences that you have in your life. And I just, there are certain things that are that I perceive as being wrong in the world, and I think a lot of us do. You know, racism, and all kinds of hate and division, and just big things and little things all over the place. And I just feel like those are, almost all of those things are man-made problems, and yet as a collective we sort of lack um, the willingness to listen and to understand, and to feel empathy and compassion for those around us who are reaching out and need things to change in order for there to be equality and there to be equity and just um, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about different aspects, and I think in the lead up to this is day 12 of no sugar, and I did mention for myself especially um, this is this no sugar journey. Um, it has a lot of ups and downs, and for me, it really allows me to clear my mind and think about things in a completely different way. And I hope if you are following along, you have found some of that as well. If you haven't, I don't think that that is necessarily a detractor. I think that just stick with it. I think that it will happen, and if it doesn't, maybe you are completely content. Maybe you understand yourself better than I do. Um, I've had experiences in my life, um, like we all do, that have sort of led me to this place of exploration and trying to understand really large scale things that are maybe none of us will ever understand, consciousness and reality and things on that level, and I feel like for my own personal journey, things like anger and hate and all of those emotions that are just they're negative poison. When you feel angry at someone for doing something to you or saying something that you didn't like, often they don't ever think about that thing. They never give it a second thought. And so who is really the one carrying that burden, that feeling of stuckness that anger really puts you into? You can't get past it because it was something was that you perceive, that your ego perceived as being a negative towards you. Someone did something to you, and how dare they? But in reality, you know I think a lot of times we sort of build those things up in our mind because we just don't want. Um, I think everybody wants to be respected and everybody wants to be heard, um, but I don't necessarily think that that is um, the right way to look at things. You only get this chance to be here and experience things once. You only get the there's only one ride. You know, you only get to do it once, as far as we know, anyways. And I just think there's a better way to do it, um, and not feel angry or jealous or um, bitter or you know any number of negative feelings and emotions. I just in order to be able to sort of reach a higher understanding of who we are, of who human beings are, yourself on kind of a spiritual level instead of just a physical level. Um, I think that those are really important things to do. I think that moving past those feelings of anger that pull us into um, again that it comes back to being present, right? We only ever get angry about things that have happened or things that might happen. You know, even when you're in the moment and something is happening to you, that anger that happens instantly as soon as that thing happens, it is about something that has already occurred. It is about something that's already happened, and in order to move past that, I should stop saying we because again, I don't know you, and um, I'm trying to kind of know myself, and I'm hoping that through exploring myself and through trying to understand myself um, in a bit of a different way, that it's going to help somebody else out there who is kind of feeling the same things that I'm feeling, or thinking about the same things that I'm thinking about. I tend to think about things on a really large scale picture, and I don't always think that that's healthy. Um, Sometimes it's difficult to think about things that as an individual you really have no control over. And again, it comes back to that illusion of control. But um, in order to kind of make those positive changes in your own life and in the lives of others around you, and in you know as a species, really, um, we have to start to think about life and existing in a different way, I think. Um, and I don't think that I'm alone in that. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are struggling to kind of reconcile the existing and being living and being present with the um, with the understanding that this is all fleeting, this is all impermanent, and regardless of um, how much you accumulate and how much you build and change, and it doesn't matter how much of an impact you have on the world around you, or the perceived impact you have. Eventually, all that stuff will be gone. Whether it's in 1 year, 5 years, 100 years, 500 years, 1,000, doesn't matter. It could be a billion years. The sun explodes, and what? I think that we're here for a different reason than to just kind of accumulate wealth and enjoy you know expensive things. I think that we're here for um, you know experience and wisdom, and to kind of gain an understanding of what it is to be conscious and aware of yourself in a way that, at least at this point, I think we most people would agree that we are the only thing we know of that can do that. And I just I don't know, I'm kind of rambling now, but back to kind of the positive negative energy. I think that you know that negative energy is essentially poison, right? It seeps into your present, and it doesn't allow you to really react and engage with other people and other things the way that you, the real you, would like to. The real you would do it if you weren't emotionally entangled in whatever is happening. So just kind of some food for thought tonight. Hopefully, that resonates with somebody out there, and if it does, great. I hope you. Um, I don't have any answers. I just have questions, and hopefully we can kind of um, ask those questions together and explore that stuff a bit together. And yeah, I know that I think I named this video "All In," and that's for me. I think I'm realizing as with every day, with every step into this journey, that am just not. Um, I am not making the choices all the time that the real me wants to make, that the me underneath that ego wants to make. And with every moment of understanding, with every feeling of questioning and challenging yourself, and a bit of self exploration that you do, I think is a baby step towards the right direction. For me, I named it "All In," this video because I just I'm tired of kind of taking those baby steps. I'm tired of knowing that I want that change and feeling that I want that change. Um, and I'm just gonna make that change. I'm just gonna do it. And you know, hopefully, I can find kind of I can find some peace in that. I can find some calmness and be very present and not worry so much about the past and things that have happened in the past and all those perceived um, slights against you, um, but also not really worry about the future and just kind of allow things to materialize as they will, and and understand that everything, whether it's positive or negative, is an experience, and it's something to learn from and to grow from, and it will impact you in a way that you don't always know, you don't always understand, or can't understand, or won't know in the moment of how that thing is going to affect you. And oh, excuse me, I'm tired. Anyways, hopefully some of that resonates with somebody out there. um, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to right now, after I do this, I'm going to do my own stretching like I normally do, but kind of focus in a little bit more, and be very present tonight, and not worry so much about the talking and explaining and guiding that I've been doing for the last few nights here with you. I'm just going to really focus on doing it myself, and then I will see you in the morning, if anybody is out there, to have a bit of a check in and chat, and we'll just see where that goes. I think, because I am definitely going to be um, getting up early. It's one of those all in things that I'm going to make that change, and I'm just gonna do it, and we're gonna make it happen. And yeah, we'll see where day 13 goes. So thanks very much. Have a good night.